for Big D Energy, live on Woodward Sports. Join four-time Stanley Cup champion and legendary badass Darren McCarty and the golden voice of Neal Ruhl, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., as they give their takes on all things Detroit sports. The number one midday show in Detroit is on. Welcome to Big D Energy.
Yo, 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 what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Big D Energy.
Big D! Let's go. Playoffs.
Playoff edition.
Wild card.
Wild card, all of it. My name is Neal Ruhl. That guy, D-Mac, Darren McCarty. He is back in the mix. Let's go around the infield third to first. We got KG in the building. KG, what's really good?
Not Pete's alcohol choices, apparently.
Well, hey, more on that Friday, as a matter of fact. We'll save that one for Friday.
We should.
Shortstop up the middle, Chase in the Chase Lounge.
Hey, what's up? How's it going? We're holding it down.
All right, I like it. Spencer Raxter.
Hello.
How are we coming back with that eyebrow?
It's
I see it.
getting there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, wait. I need some confirmation.
You got the stubbles coming in. I just got to keep the hat low.
Did Easy shave his eyebrow?
No. Easy got
He shaved
off
his beard.
very
Not a
easy.
Welch?
Pause.
No.
He just goateed
He
his
did
beard.
swag lines and he did half his beard. He had his sister's baby shower.
But did
the
he
next
throw
day.
in the caveat?
He did. We let him off.
okay.
'Cause
So
he
it
had
was-
his sister's baby shower
was-
the next day, and then he had a wedding later in the week. So I was like, all right, I'm not gonna make you do anything too crazy.
All right, there
And
it is.
Nick, and Nick.
Nick, yeah,
Nick Feinbaum.
Nick was the
Right, Nick
MVP.
Feinbaum.
Nick,
Feinbaum.
epic, scary.
Yeah.
Although
Scary.
I'm disappointed to learn he took the rest of it off. I
He
heard.
did. Yeah.
That's weak.
He chopped the whole top.
He should have left the Keenan Allen up there,
He
man.
did
got
for the
to.
whole stream.
I know. That's what locked me in.
Look at more
The
John
George
Cena every
Jefferson.
day.
Right. The George Jefferson.
He was literally Keenan Allen.
Oh
Yeah.
man, that
Without
was-
a helmet on.
That was really funny.
All right, jump into that Woodward Sports chat thread. Get your thoughts in there, and we'll read those as we go on. If you want to skip the line, go ahead, use that super chat. If you're overcome with emotion, want to get your point out there right away, feel free to do that. Ringo Lingo in the chat. Did you hear what Saquon Barkley said about Jahmyr Gibbs?
Yeah.
I did, as a matter of fact. Called him a top 2 running back.
Yeah, he said his top 3 running backs in the NFL. He kept himself out of it. He said it's Derrick Henry, Jahmyr Gibbs, and Bijan Robinson.
So there you have that, everybody. That tells you, D-Mac, you've said this since I've known you. The fan votes are nice. That's great and everything like that. But when your peers put you up at that level, there's no bigger high, I would imagine.
That's really all that matters is where do your peers, what do your peers think of you? Right? Even more so, yeah, it's nice to get what other organizations or general managers or scouts or whatever with their opinion, but no, because it brings everything in, right? It brings locker room in. What's the first thing? Okay, I'll ask you guys this rhetorically. What do you think one of the first question is, right? And we'll use, for example, there's a big press conference that's going to be going on with Luka Doncic, and we saw the trade. Mm-hmm. First question in the locker room or whatever is, what's the dude like? Not how's he play. What's he like? What kind of guy is he? What kind of human being? That's what people want to know to begin with as far as athletes go. So talent-wise, everything else, but it's how you're looked at. And really, it's the respect of how you go about your craft.
Gibbs seems like a real cool dude, too. Like,
Yeah,
just chill guy.
Right, the way that he carries himself.
Yeah.
That goes along to it also. Now, talent's a big thing, but your peers take that also into consideration. Unless, they'll flat out come out and say, right, he's a friggin' asshole. Mm-hmm. But great player. Whether you like him on your team. Oh, sorry, I was thinking of Claude Lemieux. Right? So there's another example. But guys, you want to know what kind of guy he is in the locker room. But I think that's just more work ethic and respect. Respect from a guy who's saying it too.
Yep.
Right? Really the top running back in the league.
Well, and it goes back to everything else that we've talked about, and I've talked about with Brad Holmes. He got compensated to take him. Traded back, took his guy. You know what I'm saying? Got compensated to take him. And got compensated to take Jared Goff. It's wild when you recreate everything.
Well,
It is.
you look at the deal that it was, and you look at, Bijan Robinson, highly touted, high draft pick and stuff like that, supposed to be what it is. Jahmyr Gibbs, a lot of people, right? The jury was still out, but the jury isn't out when it comes to Brad Holmes, and that's
No.
what I think that's a great segue, Neal, because as you have in charge of your team.
No question about it. But go ahead and jump in there, get your thoughts out there as well in the Woodward Sports chat thread. Here's one, and look, usually I like to chop it up and he about stuff. Tommy Williamson in the chat. At least we get some real sports talk now. The flagship was talking about Amon-Ra St. Brown and picks for Myles Garrett. And
All right.
okay, guys, we're gonna do this again, and I can take it. I'll do this every single day.
Hey, yo.
I don't care. Pause. Delayed pause there. Yeah. No, but guys, like, your fantasy league's not real life. A trade machine is not real life. You don't know what people's intents are. You don't know what they want. Like, we take the Luka Doncic thing.
Yeah.
All right, I got a text from one of my buddies in college sports, and he's like, explain this to me on the Mavericks end. And I was like, it's very simple. And for real, it's very simple.
Yeah.
And we touched on this yesterday, and we'll go back to it, and I think it applies to the Myles Garrett thing. The Mavericks' thought process was simple. We're going to move this guy. We don't like him. We're moving him.
Right.
We have Kyrie for a finite amount of time. How can we still compete for a championship? I don't want 4 picks in the 2028 draft.
Right.
I have Kyrie now. What's my best path forward? And you have to think of it from the perspective, too. Anybody that's taking Luka, do they have a superstar player to give you? No. They don't. So, again, this goes back to the Myles Garrett thing. You got to understand markets and everything like that. So if you're the Mavericks and you say, we still want to compete this year, but we want to get rid of this guy, he's not our future. He's a cancer. We're getting rid of him. So if you look at it from that perspective, okay, we want to go get someone that can play now, that's elite now, that gives us a chance to win now. What was that market? For real.
It wasn't a lot.
You see what I'm saying here?
Because most teams are trading their franchise players.
There you go.
Yeah.
So if it eliminates the market and you're the Mavericks and you're not interested in draft capital, you want to win now, that's really the only deal you can make.
Right.
For real. D-Mac, like when you work through it backwards, what else could they really do? They still want to win. Anthony Davis was the closest thing in their mind that's going to give them a shot to win. Are they the favorite to win it? No. Are they going to win it? Probably not, but neither are the Lakers.
Well, that's that. You made the great point. The team that's willing to get rid of a high-level star like that, and how many teams were in that conversation? Is it the same thing as that you're looking with the Suns with Booker or stuff like there's only a couple names. The biggest surprise to me is I didn't know that LA was in the market to shop Anthony Davis, and I don't know if they knew they were in the market either,
right, until the deal
Dallas
came
calling, right?
I don't even think that Cleveland would want Amon-Ra St. Brown with his contract. Obviously you would want Amon-Ra St. Brown the player, but can they afford Amon-Ra St. Brown with what they're doing with
Why
Deshaun
would they
Watson?
want him?
They wouldn't.
You have no quarterback.
They're trying to blow it up.
Yeah.
They want as many picks as possible.
Right.
They want to draft their own Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Right. And not now, not right this second.
No.
They have Deshaun Watson for $170 million in dead cap or whatever it is this year.
And he doesn't play.
And $90 million next year.
Right.
And he's got 2 ruptured Achilles and 100 cases. That's.
And he got benched at the end of the year.
I forgot he popped his other Achilles.
You know what I'm saying? They're dead. They're dead in the water. And the only way through is draft capital. And to wrap this all back together, it goes back to what we were just talking about, D-Mac, with Brad Holmes in the draft. If you look at the Eagles, everyone talks about the A.J. Brown trade, right? Because that's fantasy stuff. That's the fantasy. You know why they're good? Here's why they're good.
2 dogs on that defensive line.
Quinion Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis,
Nakobe Dean.
Yeah. That's just on defense. They drafted Jalen Hurts, in the 2nd round?
Devontae Smith.
They drafted him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I know you love it, and I know we live for it, and I know when trades happen, it breaks the internet. But that ain't how you get good. And I say ain't for a fact. Hat tip Brian Ermanni. Like, that's not how it works, D-Mac. That flies in the face to everything.
You got to set a foundation in the draft first, and then you trade for an A.J. Brown. Then you trade for Myles Garrett. Then you trade for somebody to put you over the top like the San Francisco 49ers did with Trent Williams and Christian McCaffrey. But, yeah, the Cleveland Browns need to trade as many people and get as many picks as they possibly can because they are fucked until Deshaun Watson gets off
They
their
are
books.
sitting out the next 2 years.
Yeah.
Sitting it out.
So who can? So I guess the question is with Garrett and Cleveland, who can offer the most picks? I guess,
And
right?
and that's what it's going to come down
comes
to.
down to.
Right. Yeah.
Couple first, second,
Couple
or third.
first.
I mean, I don't know what the.
Also got to put him in a good situation because that's where he said he wanted to go, and you don't want to set the precedent that you just fuck your players like that. So it's got to be a compromise.
Yeah.
No, 100%. And so it flies. And Rando Smalls in the super chat. Shout out to him. Like wanting to trade for Garrett, it goes against everything Brad stands for, right? And Rando, to what we've seen so far, but you have to remember now the paradigm has shifted
Very
for the
different
Lions.
world.
Yeah, no. I think now is the time where this is really up to it because this is next level for how he can dip into his draft because he's set himself up so well. What did we always talk about last week? You're only drafting or trying to go out and get specific position players because you have NFL players at mostly every position with some legitimate backups. How do I know that? Well, I saw that with as many guys on the IR this year. So I think this just adds another layer that if Brad Holmes wants to dabble in this, he can. Hasn't been in this position. Last year, even if this was a year earlier, I don't think he'd be in this position to do that because they're still building. But no, that lets you know that you're further along, right? Because you can entertain these conversations only the best teams can when they're ready. And I think that this conversation, because it's the specific piece, and you're talking about getting rid of first rounders from this year, next year, whatever that draft is, Brad Holmes is your gatekeeper, bro. So he can at least have this conversation if that's the way he wants to go. To add a Myles Garrett on defense with what you already have, if works out, I mean, that isn't that a no-brainer? The conversation's a no-brainer.
Correct.
Not
correct.
the move because then when it comes down to it, there might be somebody else willing to give. Like, what are we talking here, Neal? Like, first rounder this year, first rounder next year. Is there a second rounder in there? Is there, like, how many
Do you have to go to a third first rounder to get your bid to the top of the list?
So-
These are the
or-
things you have to take into account.
Where that's where I would say you'd have to weigh the pros and the cons, where it gets into that third one, that's another team, right, which is around where you are, can go there because they have those resources. But my big thing is you're in the conversation. I guarantee there's conversation going on.
100%. And I think we've learned that this weekend. There are conversations going on that nobody knows about. Even Myles Garrett doesn't know about. Luka Doncic didn't know about it.
I would think that out of any time in the history of the Detroit Lions, if this could be reality, right? Just like it was back in the day with the Red Wings when, you name a guy and you wanted him and you could get him.
Right.
This is reality. I think if we really want Myles Garrett, and it fits in with the direction and it doesn't, cost you some things that you were banking on in the draft, whether it was this year or next year, right? What I also like, Neal, as I'm talking this out, Brad Holmes is real good later in the draft too, right? Mm-hmm. Drafting guys that can get on the field.
Yeah.
So you put that in, like, lets you know that you're at the top of the league or you're in a different class or an elite class when you're having these conversations. And that's all I want to be a part of.
No doubt. All right, let's take the break because I got some questions about this too. And I think it's relevant, man, because we tie it into the Lions and we tie it into what's going on. We saw two teams make huge trades and possibly one coming up as well, where you can explain the rationale because it's different. Caesar Sportsbook, everybody. Yes, sir. You guys already know what it is. Promo code Woodward 1000. What if I told you could place any bet up to $1,000, and if you lose, you get that bet back? Would you think I'm crazy? Probably. Scan the QR code Enter the code Woodward1000. If your first bet doesn't hit, you'll get it back as a free bonus bet. That's right, up to $1,000 back just for giving it a shot. Minimum bet's just $20. Download the Caesar Sportsbook app today. Caesar Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of Woodward Sports. Code Woodward1000, or just scan the QR code on the screen. Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
What's up, everybody? Neal Ruhl for Planet Fitness was just there no more than an hour ago. As a matter of fact, 50-plus Metro Detroit locations, thousands around the world, and that's just the beginning of the benefits of Planet Fitness. How about the biggest benefit? $24.99 a month for a Black Card option. You can go to any Planet Fitness in the world, unlimited use of all the amenities, the hydro massage chairs, all of it. And again, just $24.99 a month. And guys, be honest. You know you have a friend that's paying $80, $90 a month for a gym membership. That's comical. That's folly, everybody. Planet Fitness is all you need. Trust me. As a guy that was on the bigger side before and used Planet Fitness to help me make a change in my life and accomplish all the fitness goals I had, it can be done. All you got to do is just go do it. It literally is that simple. It is all you need, everybody. I told you guys I'm on a 10K a day bender this week. The routine was getting a little stale, so I wanted to change it up, start asking myself some questions. So we're on it, and you can do it because there's tons of fitness, tons of equipment there, tons of treadmills, tons of ellipticals, all of it, tons of weights. Benny clangs the weights around when he's in there. It's all out there for you. Go to planetfitness.com. Guys, don't pay more money to lift the same weights. The weights weigh the same, so do it at Planet Fitness. All right, keeping it pushing, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. We are off and running. Neal Ruhl, and of course, Darren McCarty, Spencer Raxter, KG, Chase is in the building, and all of you chopping it up right now. And again, we're talking about it, and it's one of those things where the flagship this morning was talking about, would you do 2 first-round picks and an Amon-Ra St. Brown for Myles Garrett? And it's disingenuous, and it's something that Cleveland would never be interested in. They have Deshaun Watson immovable. Immovable. The dead cap hit is nauseating for 2 more years. The 3rd year they can do it. So with that being said, like, they're not interested in that. So it comes back down to it where all they want is draft picks, D-Mac. It's got to be. There's nothing else that makes sense. Nothing else that makes sense.
Well, it is the Cleveland Browns. So.
Oh, fair. That's fair. Dad with Tourette's, and I compared it to the Luka trade with the Dallas Mavericks and the Lakers, where the Mavericks' goals were different. They wanted to still compete this year, compete for a championship. And when you survey the landscape, how many dudes could you go get for real right now?
Maybe 2.
Maybe if they were available.
Yeah.
So, again, guys, like that's their goal. I'm not saying they're a championship favorite. My best guess is that that's their thought process. We're going to get rid of this cancer that we'd have to pay $340 million to a guy that's weighing 270 pounds or whatever it is, that doesn't seem to take fitness all that seriously. And you've seen video of it. Like, it's not – Spenny talked about it, that video of the finals where he's flopping around with 5 fouls.
That was the foreshadow.
And then yelling at the bench, you better effing challenge it.
I lost a lot of respect for him watching those finals.
That was some bitch stuff, man.
It really was.
Yeah. And now, like, and I didn't think about it in the moment. I don't think a lot of people did. Like, when you see stuff like that, it kind of gives you a foreshadow of what's going on. So Dad with Tourette's in the chat said, you're saying you couldn't get something better and compete this year? Come on. Spenny?
They got a first round.
They
pick,
couldn't
too.
have got someone the caliber of Anthony Davis. Like you could have traded Luka to the Jazz and got Lauri Markkanen and 3 first-round picks, but Lauri Markkanen's not Anthony Davis.
No,
Not even
and the
close.
Mavericks aren't interested in 3 first-round picks in 2028 and 2029.
Yeah.
They have Kyrie now. They got Quentin Grimes now. They're in a position in their mind they can still compete
Wasn't
for a
the final
championship.
question in Dallas? Can Kyrie and AD work, guys? And it's
Absolutely.
no, but isn't that the question?
Yeah,
if you're
yeah.
the GM or Jason Kidd or whatever like this, I think. Does anybody else think that? Like, to me, Luka, yeah, he's that player and stuff like that, but the commitment to what you said, it's like, who's willing to win now, who's not, who can we win with, right? Like, and you put, Anthony Davis there, like, it was only one question.
And if I
Like, you
will
could have
say-
got the package. You could have got the old Luka Doncic for, like you said, marketing this,
Multiple
that.
firsts, yeah,
4
like, they
guys,
could've-
couple
Pick swaps.
I will say this. There is kind of tongue-in-cheek stuff with like Adam Silver forced it because ratings are down or whatever. Adam Silver and the NBA would not have allowed Luka Doncic to get traded to a small market team. If he was leaving Dallas, he was going to a big market team. It was going to be the Lakers or the Knicks. Like that, they wouldn't have let him go to the Jazz or the Kings.
Even more so to your point, Neil, there was only one of a few teams.
And
to
they-
that point, not only the player to get in return, but the market.
They traded a player that was top 5 at their position for another player that was top 5 at their position, and they did get a first-round pick. They got one for 2029. I think they made off beautifully. If you want to win now, like you said, the strategies are different.
Yep.
The LA is thinking about the future post LeBron. What are we going to do? Anthony Davis, he's 31. He's injury prone. We don't know if long term he's going to be able to be the Laker that we want him to
But
be.
he's coming off a season where he played 70 games last
Anthony
year?
Davis, yeah, he played. I think maybe more than that.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot.
For the first time
For
in-
Data
in how
Davis, it was a
long?
lot.
Yeah, and first time in however.
76.
76 games, man. Like,
You only send the jorts out twice.
Right.
Hey.
That's a career high for him. In games
You only
played.
needed them
the
twice.
jorts in that sweater, man.
Oh my God, that's the picture.
I need
When
that
you
in the
say
Hall of
Anthony
Fame.
Davis, in my head, it's not any basketball move. It's him standing on the sideline in those sweater and those jorts.
DNCENT, you trade Luka because you are impatient and incompetent at your job instead of giving your 25-year-old help when he carried you to the finals last year. Better chance to win now and in the future. DNCENT, they were done with him.
Yeah.
They were done with him.
They didn't trust him enough to pay him the max.
All I'll tell you guys is this. Look at that video of him in the finals that Spenny talked about. And that's not the worst of it by far. That's just the worst of it publicly.
Yeah.
They were done with him. And you're up to the crossroads too. And DNCENT, here's something. And DNC, you're versed, like you're a knowledgeable fan, so I know that you understand this, but most don't. With this new CBA and their tax aprons, it's designed. You cannot have the dynasties anymore.
Yeah.
You can't. It's designed for competitive balance. And we've seen it, 5 years in a row, different champion every year?
Mm-hmm.
That never happened in the NBA. When you won 1, you won 2 or 3, and then you gave way to somebody else that won 2 or 3 or 3 out of 5 or whatever it was. Like, that's the way that it's been. So,
And just in terms of the Supermax, I'd give them credit, because if you really don't feel like this is the guy to take your franchise forward, then don't fucking sign him to that much money.
Right.
Any other team would have just did it anyway and dealt with the problems, bro. But you don't want to be in a Joel Embiid situation where, yeah, this guy is great, but we are not getting near
We're screwed.
the return that we paid him for.
The Sixers are screwed.
Yes.
That's it. They are where they're going to be. Now, they'll be better if Embiid can play instead of missing 400 games out of 800 games.
Exactly.
Like if he could play, they'll be in a better spot. But are they going to win anything? Mm-hmm. We saw that. Act.
Right. Do you think if they can go back in time and maybe not give him the Supermax and trade him for assets, you think they would have did it? Probably.
They doubled down. They traded for Paul George. Like, I couldn't believe that shit.
Yeah,
Let's get another guy that only plays 20 games a year. I was like,
Fucking
what the
crazy.
fuck?
Wheezy D313. But Neal, Gobert and Bridges went for a bunch of future garbage draft picks. No, it's true. It's true. But Ethan Roselle, Garrett isn't going to be able to handpick a contender, get the Browns a massive return, and immediately get a $30 million contract extension. If he wants to truly win, he can't demand that. Well, Ethan, see, here's the thing too, and D-Mac, this was one of the angles that I heard was you heard like former NFL GMs and draft insiders and people like that talking. They said that the probable compensation for Garrett and who's to say they're more right than me or more right than you or I'm more like we don't because we don't live in that space and we don't know. But former GMs were talking first and second and future, like a first, a second, maybe a third the next year, maybe a first this year, a second, and a third next year. Like it's not going to be this.
What's his contract?
He's very, very
It's like $20 million
cap
this
friendly
year.
for the next 2 years.
Something like that.
There's no guaranteed money on it,
Right.
None whatsoever. But on that flip side of that coin, if he's going to go through with this, he's going to say wherever I'm going,
Right.
and he'll have to take it too, where we have to keep the same deal. We have to keep your deal on the books, and we sign you to an extension that kicks in that year. See, and that's where, because to Ethan's point here, with the Garrett thing, that's why we talked about finite audiences, finite buyers. For the Garrett thing, this is going to be finite too, because who can do it?
Not a lot of teams.
I guess with that finiteness, the first thing that I got a question is financially, could this be something with Myles Garrett's contract that could be worked out here in Detroit?
Yes.
You say check. Yes.
Easily.
Okay. So let's move on. When you say if the pundits or the people that know, it's a first, a second, a third, or whatever like this over like 3 years or 2 years, whatever it is. I mean, to me, that return, like I'm more interested because I think it's going to be, to your point, who's going to give him the 2 first rounders and maybe a second and third year. I think to that it sounds low. Maybe I'm wrong. Does anybody ever run these Madden? What does like the Madden trade thing say? You know what I'm saying? Is that what it would be comparable? You know how like when we get into the trades at the draft, right? Like trading up, trading down, it would cost two second rounders and a third rounder to move up 6 spots. You know how we do that stuff like that. So to me, all these conversation pieces, Neal, means that I'm still in the conversation. So I'm more interested. Oh, more. Okay, tell me more. Tell me more. Okay, now let's figure it out. Because who can stay on the phone the longest? Right?
Right.
Who can stay on hold or who can stay on the phone the longest? Sounds to me like we can, if we want to. And to the point where Cleveland on the other end or somebody else is saying, well, I'm going to give you that last year, third first rounder. Right? That's what it's going to come down to. It's going to come down to who's going to offer more in the end, because what you said, what does Cleveland need in return? If they're going to run anything other than an inept organization, they got to start somewhere because they're way behind. They can't take any contract on. It's got to be rebuild. So who's going to give them all? Who I would look further, if I was looking further, who's in a position like us, maybe a little less than us coming up, that has draft capital? Is this something in our division? Is this something Chicago could do? Is this something the Packers, the Vikings,
San Francisco.
Again, it seems like this is a San Francisco-ish play, right? So, but these are all teams trying to get either to that next, like, rate elite level or next level. So, but again, what I like as a Detroit Lions fan is Brad Holmes can stay on the phone as long as he wants or whatever. Put it into his thought process. But the contract to me, Neal, is more of something that I'm interested in instead of usually it's a deterrent, isn't it?
Correct.
Usually it's a deterrent, and this one it doesn't seem like it is. So. I mean, even more so.
WeezyD313 in the chat. They've been treating Anthony Davis like he's Hassan Whiteside.
Yeah, for real.
They have been. Like, people have been doing that. It is pretty funny. Woodward Sports Super Chat. Owen Mullen. Imagine this: Garrett, Hutch, Aleem, Reeder, Smith, and a D-line. That would be disgusting. It wouldn't even be fair. I'm salivating at the thought. No, and we're going to continue the discussion, and that's why, because the trade market is the theme of today's show. We're going to get into the Pistons angle of it because I heard something interesting in an interview with JB Bickerstaff that we'll discuss. We're going to get into the Red Wings angle of it as well. So, yeah, Trade Tuesday, Spenny.
Tuesday.
Hey, transaction people rejoice, man, because here we are.
I forgot to put RIP Tuesday on the sheet.
Maybe we'll get there. Yeah. We'll see. Tell about Sabbath Coffee.
Sabbath Coffee Roasters, delicious, locally roasted specialty coffee dropped off right at your doorstep. Use code word Woodward to get 25% off your first subscription order. SabbathCoffeeRoasters.com. Support local, support Michigan companies, support Sabbath Coffee Roasters.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You know, you guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
I think you won. We got Tully, everybody. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Shop.woodwardsports.com. Make sure you go there to get all of the best merch in the game, whatever you want. We got Tigers, Red Wings, Lions, Pistons, golf. We're going to get some Nick Feinbaum merch up there pretty soon. Make sure you guys tap in shop.woodwardsports.com.
All right, back at it. Transaction Tuesday, I guess you could call it. That's what we're doing. We're all 4 teams to some degree. Spenny's here for it. I just got a phone call, as a matter of fact, from a good friend of mine that's at the Super Bowl right now. DNC ENT, Neal's supposed to be the trade and cap guy, LOL. I don't get where you're going with that.
I think his previous comment is what he was
about what?
I think he said, why would you trade your superstar and not tell anyone? Pretty much saying they should have globalized it so they can get the best deal.
Because what if you can't trade him, DNC ENT, and you still have to play?
Yeah.
Like, come on, man.
Yeah, putting that out there would create so much drama.
Like, let's stop and think before we talk, everybody. Right. All right? Think about it. You're the Mavericks. You're doing this back channel.
Yeah.
Right?
And like you said, the clientele was a specific clientele. I need a top 5 player back.
And the word gets out there that Luka Doncic is being shopped around, all hell would break loose.
Correct.
It's better to just rip the Band-Aid off.
Bingo. Like, that's it. Right. So, yeah. So then I guess DNC ENT won't like this. I took a lot of heat in media I think D-Mac, you were here that day, when we talked about the Ben Johnson stuff, right, with Dan Campbell. Yeah. When I sat here in this microphone and said, I'm not reporting it. It's just a conversation I had.
Yeah. You
guys saw me on the phone just now.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. Took a phone call from a good friend of mine that is at the Super Bowl covering the Super Bowl in the Professional Football Writers Association. And I'll leave it at that. He said, you will find this interesting. He has talked to 5 GMs down there, 5 different NFL GMs. Universally, they expect Cooper Kupp to end up with the Lions.
Holy shit.
With the Lions?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Universally, that's what they expect. I'm not reporting this. It has not been reported. I'm telling you a phone conversation I had just now.
He was just on the phone.
I was literally just on the phone. My friend, and I bet source sounds like a journalistic relationship. He's my friend.
Yeah.
We're friends.
And to kind of back up what you were saying, there was a buzz going around online yesterday about that possible move. But
Cooper Kupp to the Lions.
Yeah, that's a power move right
there.
They
said it's universally expected that Cooper Kupp will end up with the Detroit Lions, and that's according to GMs that he's talked to.
J-Mo, Amon-Ra, Cooper.
The Myles Garrett thing.
Shit.
He said that those same GMs he talked to do expect the Lions to be heavily involved with the Garrett thing, but don't know if push comes to shove.
They would push the button.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because, like, and look, this is the thing we're talking about with the Garrett stuff, right? When you're with multiple suitors and everybody's desperate, right? Desperate people do desperate things. And I guess it's probably best for the Browns that this came out now. All the GMs are together down in the same spot.
Makes sense. Yeah.
So, away we go. We'll see.
Neal,
but that's intriguing.
Neal, can you do the Cooper Cup money wise, or what would that be, or what would that, as far as like what he makes or whatever, would he fit in? Does this make sense to what's being reported? Because salary wise, under contract to whatever it would cost, because what is he coming in here to be?
Tim Patrick.
Yeah, I mean, what's his cap hit next year? His cap hit's almost $30 million.
Yeah, I'm sure they would restructure. They would have to. Right?
They have to restructure.
Yeah, I would imagine so. Yeah.
Is this when you hear? So, what do you think when you hear that?
I think that I'm not interested at that number, obviously.
Right. Like, because isn't that something where it was more? I was sort of expecting you come off the phone. The other conversation,
Yeah.
we're not in the room for Cooper Cup, but Myles Garrett could be a high possibility.
Everybody's probably calling about Myles Garrett right now.
Yeah, of course.
Well, yeah, that's it. And how many people are calling about Cooper Cup because of that?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So that would have to be wouldn't that have to be a conversation about, like, immediately you'd have to restructure it, or I don't know how that works.
Yeah. I'm sure.
I think it's going to be one of those things where it's a lot like the Stafford thing. We'll take them, but you got to pay us to take them.
Right.
Because for real, at that number, what are you going to get for Cooper Cup at that number?
Not a lot.
What are we talking about here? Danny G, I'll question Brad honestly. Anakin Skyogre, we don't need Cooper Cup. Mike Bell, Waymo, greater than Cup.
I mean, you'd still have Jameson Williams.
Right. Like, what are we talking about? Amon-Ra, J-Mo, and Cooper Cup, who Goff has a relationship with as your third wide receiver?
And Jameer Gibbs.
With Laporta? Yeah, like, what the fuck are we talking about?
Art Vandelay, if we get Cup, is J-Mo trade bait then, or what? Guys.
Jesus.
God, it's an arms race.
This was the other thing I was going to get to today.
Yes.
Because this is what I've heard, and I've seen it on social media. And D-Mac, we'll give J-Mo to the Browns for Garrett, or we could trade J-Mo. Guys, for the 100th time.
You're not. You got him on 2 more years.
2 more years at $5 million or whatever it is for Jameson Wood. For a 1,000-yard receiver, that's one of the most electric players in the league with the ball in his hand. He is more valuable to us at that number in our situation than pretty much, and Spenny, this is going to be crazy, he's top 5 most valuable player on the Lions at that number.
Yeah. Oh,
probably
sure.
higher.
Yeah.
Probably higher. Production versus cost. And in this window where he is, and remember, you have a 5th-year option on him that you can exercise. At this cost to his production with where this team is and what's on the line, D-Mac, there may not be a more valuable guy at the number they're at.
Well, doesn't this all go down in the conversation of what Brad Holmes, it goes into being the conversation whether you're bringing a Myles Garrett or Cooper Cup, but how you set this team up, not only with guys that can play, but on these rookie deals. That's why you said his ability to get young guys to play because they're on that rookie contract. There's no more value Jameson Williams has to your team, not only on the field, but off the field right now. It's only going to get worse, right? Like, where people don't understand. This is when you hit on young guys and draftable guys, this is the benefit, and that's how you improve. What are you talking about? You just broke it down the first segment about Philadelphia's success, right? Because they're doing the exact same thing. They hit on their draft guys, which if they hit on their draft guys that make them players, they're on their first contract, which enables them to move money other places and make that deal that they need to be making. I mean, what are we talking about here?
I don't know.
The conversation is when they're gonna, like, the next contract.
Yes.
When they have to do it, not now. It's everybody. It's the same thing with the Jack Campbells and all these young guys, the Branches, the Curb. Before you got to pay them, this is the window. I don't understand.
Can we do this again, everybody? Can we please understand this? The Detroit Lions are chasing a Super Bowl right now. Guys like Jameson Williams, Brian Branch, Kirby Joseph are the most valuable guys on this team right now because they are what allows you to go after a Super Bowl, to be in a Super Bowl window because they're all pro-type players. And they are on rookie contracts.
Yeah, I just don't fucking understand why every
Spenny, I'm going to lose my mind this week, dude.
You probably are. Oh, could we trade J-Mo for him?
No!
No. And they they wouldn't want it.
Right. What the hell they gonna do?
Oh, the Browns are gonna trade for J-Mo to have him on one more year and then have to sign him to $20 million a year.
To have DTR throw him the ball?
Yeah, for one season, and then have to sign him to a $20+ million
guys,
contract.
Please. Everybody think. Stop and think. It's not Madden and it's not your fantasy team. It's real life.
They would draft their own Jameson Williams with a pick that they get from Myles Garrett.
We're taking the break early.
Listen, Neal, everybody
this is my greatest test.
You got cracked.
The only one I could see the Browns actually wanting would be Brian Branch.
How are you guys gonna even get upset with idiocracy like this?
I don't know.
This is conversations you had 4 years ago, 3 years ago, right? Like, come on, like this isn't. It's okay.
They're not trading.
Let's act like we've been here before.
Thomas Perry, Neal must enjoy talking about the JMO subject. It's getting old. Why give air to the mouth breathers? Williams isn't going anywhere. Thomas, it never stops, though.
I agree.
Peruse Twitter.
It's crazy.
Listen to us. Look at our message boards during our show. Listen to the flag. Like anywhere you go, and I'll never understand it. The most electric guy in the NFL, and people want to trade him and get him out. And
but Neal, he had a gun charge.
He's one of the most valuable Detroit Lions right now. People get this confused. Like my thing with Goff, why I like Goff so much,
because how much he gets paid.
Exactly.
If you broke it down to contract, to production, to whatever the value, Goff's got to be the most valuable one.
If you take your feelings out of it and just look at the numbers. The numbers he was paid when he got here, what you were compensated to take him. Like they were compensated Jameson Williams to take him, right? I mean, like there's all kinds of like backwards thinking. If you just go like for like,
Jahmyr Gibbs too.
That's how you win in this league. Jahmyr Gibbs is the most valuable player in football.
You got it, Neal. That's winning, Neal. That's
okay,
winning.
we're taking the break. And I'm going to reset here.
Don't let them get you, Neal. Not everybody can have your intellect.
Tell them about Lady Jane's. Please, somebody else talk. Somebody else.
Absolutely. Lady Jane's, they take the chore out of getting a haircut. Their talented stylist will deliver an industry-leading haircut, relaxing scalp massage, Spenny's favorite, hot lather neck shave, and hot towel treatment. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's haircuts for men. It's wicked awesome.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Ruhl here for FeldmanAuto.com. All in all, the best dealership experience in Michigan. I'll give you that firsthand because I lived it at Feldman Chevrolet in Novi, Michigan's #1 Chevrolet dealer. Literally the easiest car buying experience of my life. They got me my keys. I said, all right. Walked in the door to do the show. I said, hey, I want to get this car. They said, all right. They gave me the keys about an hour and a half later, right there on the show. It is that easy. Go to feldmanauto.com. What if you don't want a Chevy? Well, then get a Ford, then get a Kia. There's 19 Feldman Automotive dealership locations around the Metro Detroit area. You can go to all of them on feldmanauto.com, find the car you want, start the car buying process online. Guys, I'm telling you, some of you know. You've reached out. You said you bought a car from Feldman as well. Rack in the chat. He bought a Silverado from there. You guys already know. feldmanauto.com. All right, we'll try this again. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, KG, Spencer Raxter, Chase in the Chase Lounge, all of you in the Woodward Sports chat thread. I took a phone call from a friend of mine that's in the Football Writers Association of America. He's down there at the Super Bowl as we speak. He has talked to 5 NFL GMs. All 5 of those GMs unilaterally expect that Cooper Kupp will end up with the Lions. Doesn't mean he will. I'm not reporting it. So all the news people that are going to come at me on Twitter and say, how can you say stuff like that on a microphone? Because if I sit here and be quiet, it's not a good show.
There you go.
And he's my friend. I think of enough of him to be friends with him. I trust what he says.
Since when you exposing your sources too? It's not something.
I'm not a journalist.
Yeah.
So I don't pretend to be. So take that however you want to take it.
You got to protect the relationship. So.
Tev Sauce 2 in the Super Chat. It's Transaction Tuesday. We're talking real life trades, not Madden stuff, not stuff I heard on the flagship about Amon-Ra St. Brown and 2 firsts for Garrett. We're living in reality here. Okay? Tev Sauce 2. Neal doesn't want to hear this, but maybe it's time to trade J-Mo Gibbs, Hooker, and a first for Myles Garrett. Tev Sauce. No, I get what you're doing there. It's funny. It made me laugh in the break when I saw it.
And speaking of Transaction Tuesday, as of right now, the Washington Wizards are the favorite to add Kevin Durant at plus 325.
What the fuck they gonna do with Kevin Durant?
Well, he's from DC.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
he's gonna ride off.
Yeah.
Jordan Poole and Kevin Durant, watch out.
Yeah.
They're like, what the
retire there.
I guess.
Woodward Sports chat thread. Also, burn in the Super Chat. We might be rich, but we'll be back in the trailer park with these trade ideas. No more dining with the Eagles and Chiefs. No more big-time events. Later on in the week, we're going to do that because it was stunning to me because I was looking at that today, D-Mac. We are going to do – I'm going to do like a quick breakdown, like a one-segment thing, how they were built, how the Chiefs were built, how the Eagles were built. And I found that universally throughout my career on Super Bowl week, I can have this discussion, and the teams are built pretty much unilaterally the same.
There you go.
Especially in the NFL.
There you go. Secret to the success, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You gotta. It's levels. You got to get your team to that next level in order to open the door to have conversations at a next level. And if you don't solidify the foundation every level that you go, then you're like 20 teams, 22 teams in this league that you're always trying to get to that next level to be in these conversations. Whether it's for the Coops or for the Cooper Cups that has this contract, like here's the whole thing. The biggest the biggest question that comes to my mind is where are the contracts of both guys, right? Because when you can ask those questions, that's how your team's made up. Like all these things it didn't happen overnight, guys. This has been the plan in place. So if these either guys fit in with this thought process and the culture, right? I mean, whether we like it or not, you got to listen to it because this is like you're at that next level. How many teams get to compete in these conversations each year?
About 5.
That don't like. Yeah, you can have the team that just wants to do something and blows it up and is in the same spot just to get a guy. But whether you're talking, it doesn't matter what sport you're talking about. There's going to be a supply and demand.
Some breaking news here. JB sending these in. Shout out. Pat Riley just made a deal with the NFL allowing them to use the phrase three-peat on merchandise in the Chiefs Super Bowl.
Oh, shit. Foreshadowing.
What are the Chiefs at Caesar Sports Line right now? You might want to. Neal, is that a get right? Is that the get right of all get rights?
The rights to three-peat.
That's crazy.
He just stole my RIP if we were doing that for RIP Tuesday.
Yeah.
How the hell did Pat Riley get to rice the 3-peat?
Because he came up with it.
He has all of the iterations. I was talking with Ryan Lynch
That's
about this
nuts,
last week. Like we were talking about this in the back. That's pretty smart.
Yeah.
That is smart.
Yeah. So
So Kansas City's already won.
Yeah.
Well, they got to print the merch and all
They
that.
do got to print them. Yeah, if not,
yeah.
it's getting sent to a third world country and gives it away.
Right.
yeah, and that's what it is.
Regardless, the jerseys are sold.
They're going to be there.
They're,
You're right.
Whether
Yeah.
they're giving away.
Well, the T-shirts are being printed as we speak right now.
Yeah,
then.
absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Absolutely.
that's the way that this stuff works. Woodward Sports chat thread. I'll get into there. Up for speculation in the chat. Thank you, D-Mac. No one's trading JMO. They can have whatever picks they want, but we're definitely not sending JMO to his room in Cleveland.
No.
Keith, Neal. If I get off trade faction, that would be admitting I was wrong. Flannel even said JMO was a bust, and he is never wrong. So there's that also,
I got to
too.
give
So-
Flannel his credit. He also said JMO was untouchable.
Did he buy the
trade-wise.
jersey yet?
He did, yeah. He wore it.
Oh, he
wore
did?
it. Yep.
Oh, okay.
So here's the question, right? On the other hand, is the teams that get to these levels have built it. They're not going to house of cards and Jenga themselves and collapse their whole plan for whatever past 3-4 years for like the good teams, right? They always sort of make it happen. You brought up something. This smells like San Francisco. Right? Because there's certain teams that just figured know a way how to work down the line with the contract. Because I think that, Neal, the biggest thing is, and you tell me if I'm right or wrong, the reason why it smells like San Francisco right out the bat is because there's negotiability in the contract. Right? And what are they known to do? Go pick up a big dog, whatever move picks around and stuff like this, and end up paying them. And we sit here and we go, how can they do that? And they figured out a way, right?
Yeah.
So, where do you have an inkling?
As far as where he'll end up?
Where we would end up, I'm not going to hold you to it, but
Buffalo will be in the mix. Obviously, I think we'll be in the mix.
Mm-hmm.
I think Green Bay will get in the mix.
So the reason for my question, what is the percentage do you think he ends up in this division? Is it a 50% chance?
I would say so, yeah.
I would say it's a 50%
I would say so.
chance he ends
Either
up in the
us or
division
someone
and
else.
So that's right. That's the big thing, because I think that I'm right along your lines.
People don't want to hear this, but Chicago's got the financial firepower to
absolutely.
pull
What
it
have we
off.
always
team
said
in the
there?
North.
But he said, he wants to go to
Right.
a Super Bowl situation. That'll be up to Myles Garrett.
Right.
But if he
Actually, it won't be. See, you know what we're forgetting in all this? Garrett doesn't have a no-trade clause.
He doesn't, but you think the organization would maybe try to do right.
but again, then we think who it is, Kenny.
Yeah, but
Then it's Cleveland.
And I would come back to this too. Bro, you said you wanted to be traded.
True.
It's not my job to
It's not.
to
If they look
accommodate
at
you.
It, yeah, if they look at it that way, yeah.
Like it's not
They
like
might
that's
try and do him a solid. They
yeah,
may.
yeah. I mean that stuff kind of go. If it's me and I'm the GM, that stuff kind of goes out the window, man. Like you're tapping
Right.
out.
Even Brad Holmes looked out for DeAndre Swift. Hey,
I'm going to say it smells like Chicago to me.
No.
Nah, I think the Vikings may have a better shot at him because every team in the North has a shot to get him.
I just don't want him to be in the North if he's not on the line.
Yeah,
Burn in the super chat. Slow
I wanna
down
be
there.
there,
They
too.
also print a lot of 19-0 Patriot shirts.
Yeah.
A lot of young kids growing up in other countries who think the Bills four-peated.
Well, yeah, right. But they got to do it. They got to do
100%.
it.
Yeah, we said that.
Owen Mullen in the super chat. If there's anyone that can get this trade done, it's Brad Holmes. Whatever's best for the franchise, just sit back and let him do the work. So again, Mike O in the chat. Neal, call out your sources and be real. No.
Hey, and at the end of the day, Neal,
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
at the end of the day, in Holmes, you trust. Don't if no matter what, if it's Cooper Kupp, if it's Myles Garrett, no matter who comes here, do you not just trust the guy who's holding the keys to the gate?
Always, man. It's always going to come back to that.
It won't. There's not a deal out there, no matter what it is, that's going to hinder this organization.
Stephen Baffey brings it up, too, and I had forgotten about them, but they will be a factor, too. The Commanders will lead the charge here. They're a good fit, and they can pull it off because they got a rookie quarterback.
Yeah. You want to keep him out of the NFC. If he's not going to your team, you don't want him to end up in the NFC at any stretch. So
Neal ain't no snitch. No, it's not. There's nothing to snitch. He's my friend.
Yeah.
all right.
Like, what are we talking
Expose your sources.
Hey, guy. Yeah.
No, I'm not writing a story for the
Right.
New York Times.
Yeah.
I'm here sitting on a microphone. You're watching me talk. Like,
Right.
It's not that deep, everybody. Tyler M. Neal, could we afford could we afford Trey Hendrickson? Guys, the Bengals think that they're good too, everybody.
Yeah, they're probably going to re-sign him.
Like, come on, man.
Maybe not, though. They're pretty
Yeah,
cheap.
maybe not. They cheap.
All right, let's take the break. Where are we going, D-Mac? Or where are we going? Planet Fitness?
Planet
Yeah,
Fitness.
Planet Fitness, everybody live at the Planet Fitness Studios. Look, I told you guys about all the locations and all the equipment and everything like that. It's the convenience of it all. When you really boil this all down, no matter where we broadcast from, there's always a Planet Fitness close by. There's one 2 miles from here. I'm over there on 15 Mile Road, and I'm over there doing it. If we're out in Novi at Feldman Chevrolet in Novi, there's one 1.5 miles away from there as well. It doesn't matter where we go, there's always a Planet Fitness close by. There's one a couple miles from my house, as a matter of fact, as well. It's a convenience thing, everybody. And look, you want to get your work in, clean facilities, that's Planet Fitness, guys. I don't know what else to tell you, man. $24.99 a month, one of the best deals in American consumerism. You have friends that are paying $80 or $90 a month for a gym membership. Ask them. They probably won't be honest with you, but they are, trust me. PlanetFitness.com or pull in the parking lot. Join there. Don't pay more money to lift the same weights. It's Planet Fitness.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Head to WoodwardSports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. WoodwardSports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at WoodwardSports.com. Is that an octopus in your pants, or are you just happy to see me? See what I did there? Go Red Wings! From Octopi Experts, Woodward Sports.
1800 Tequila, the official tequila of the Detroit Lions. You see they got the cool Lions theme bottle there. Make sure you get that in stores now. 1800 Tequila, the smoothest taste of tequila. And as always, please drink responsibly.
All right, keeping it pushing here. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, KG, Spencer Raxter. The Chase Lounge is open as well, and all of you in the Woodward Sports chat thread. Mike G. Going through all the sources. No, my source is a writer in the Professional Football Writers Association of America. He's down there in New Orleans covering the Super Bowl as we speak. Talked to 5 GMs. They universally think that Cooper Kupp will end up with the Lions. So whatever that looks like, I don't know. I'm just telling you what I was told, that if I weren't sitting here talking about it, we would have talked about it for a few minutes anyway. So I'm not reporting it. So everybody calm down. Who was it? SI? Calm down. Sporting News, calm down. CBS, calm down. Unless you want to run it, feel free to run it so it gets another 1 million views, but whatever.
People will do what they do.
Not reporting it. Thank you.
Bro,
Transaction
But
Tuesday.
when it happens,
Right.
you know where to come early.
Yeah. Sean M. Get picks to take on Cup and restructure. Use those picks to get Garrett. That would be some big brain stuff. Chuck Brewer. Neal's not a reporter. He's just sharing a chat. Chuck, thank you. That's exactly what we were doing. Since we're doing it, Danny G. Neal just confirmed Cup to the Lions. Yes, it's done. It's happening, everybody. Get ready. Lentz, back there, get the graphics ready.
All right. Myles Garrett and Cooper Kupp you won the offseason at that point, though. I'm just saying, if it were to happen.
And it's not even the football New Year yet.
Yeah.
That's not till March 1st. You got to remember that, too. March 1st comes around. That's cut season.
Yeah.
You need to cut it.
Mm-hmm.
So there'll be a lot of stuff going on there. The away fan. I took a load of Tangerine Space Machine from Holland to Lake Orion today. A few might have fallen off the truck and into my bag for after work. That's weird.
It's crazy.
That's good luck on your part.
Tangerine Space Machine slaps.
Right. Shout out away fan too. Friend of the network.
Shout out.
He's been up here.
Yeah, he's been all up in here before. D-Mac, let's shift the focus. Red Wings. Trade deadline.
Red Wings?
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, it's Transaction Tuesday, man.
Yeah.
Red Wings. I know we're further
Chase,
out.
when is the trade deadline?
March
7th?
Yeah.
7th, 8th,
Right now
something like that.
Sorry, I just was cutting.
I believe it's
I
the
got it,
7th.
Chase. You're good.
Yeah. D-Mac, what's your vibes?
You know, I don't know. I think
March
that if
7th,
there's
yep.
something out there, somebody out there to be able to help this team down the stretch, don't know who that would be. Haven't looked at it, but there's something to be said about not wrecking what they've built with what they have, right? So it'd have to be something, you know, like a caveat. I could also see them moving somebody.
I was just gonna ask, would you rather add like a forward, a defenseman? Like, what would you want to add, D-Mac?
Well, I think that, you know, you've got some development. You can always use defensemen.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I like the fact is their transaction has been with Grand Rapids. So getting Soderblom, getting shine, getting energy from the bottom, getting that production, and just the way that the guys have played. They can always get better defensively. There's still, you know, the fact that we were talking before the show, guy I'm really liking is this Albert Johansson. Right, he's really developed himself into a great player, and it's the little things that he does. So, hold on, I guess I really don't expect Neal. Like right now, I don't know if there is that guy out there that's gonna hinder you from moving in the future. You'd obviously like to move a contract or move a guy like a Hall or something like that, but I don't think that there's a market for it.
So you're not doing what Jonesy says here. We're not getting Sidney Crosby and Alexander Ovechkin.
No, I doubt it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind Sid. But I agree with what you're saying, especially because, like, you got ASP. He's going to be ready to go. He's going to be with the big club next year. That's your top four defense sorted out. Seider, Evanson, ASP, Johansson. I think Danielson's ready to be the 2C on this team next year. We'll see what happens there. I could see them moving a guy like Tarasenko or Comfer or someone to get a 3C on this team, maybe something like that. I don't know, but
Who's giving you anything for Tarasenko?
I mean, you'd have to throw something in there too to spice it up. But you could trade Tarasenko to a contender for a prospect that's ready to go that they have and they can't bring up, and you could throw as your 3C.
I don't know. I just don't think that. What's he? $5 million?
I think so. Yeah.
And that's next year too, right? I'm actually going to look it up right now. As a matter of fact,
I just don't.
4.75 this year and next. Yeah, no, we're
because
good, bro.
Spenny, you bring up a good point. Because how close some of the other guys, some of the guys are. The Nygaards, the Sand and Pelican. All these different guys. What you have in the mind, like to me, and look at the way that they're playing. I think it's like one of these things is that you don't want to rock the boat. I do think that if a playoff team comes calling for like a Comfer or maybe a Cop or somebody like that, you'd entertain it. But it all depends on, you got to understand too. This is a conversation between moving forward with Todd McLellan and Steve Yzerman. It's a different conversation than I'm sure it was with Derek Lalonde. So whatever it is, they'll be on the same page, but. It would probably more a guy poached off your roster than it is, adding something to it.
Lems 31M, Tarasenko and a third-round pick to the Sharks for nothing. I mean, essentially, if you want to get out of that year of salary,
I wouldn't mind that.
You're going to have to attach something to move on from him. Also, what do we have here?
There were talks about them with Cousins from Anaheim. I saw Rankin thrown in there a couple times. I don't know if they're. We'll see.
I wonder, D-Mac. I don't want to call it Lions vibes from the Red Wings, but I think all in all, he likes his core. I think we like what we've seen from the core. I'm talking about the guys he drafted. That all in all, his drafts have been a success, and you're starting to see them, age properly. Like people forget that too. Like he put the bourbon in the barrel 5 years ago.
That's it.
It's got to age.
Well, that's to your point. You asked me if Todd McClellan's a Scotch drinker or whatever. He might have cracked that bourbon barrel though. But like with the younger kids, like with the Casper, you know, moving him to the top line. So it's how these guys are going to be used because what is it proven or is coming out in the wash is that the guys that Steve Eisman's drafted, right, are becoming players, just like what Brad Holmes has done with the Lions. Now, there's a couple questions on some of the free agency. I get that, but your core is really becoming your core.
Yes,
yeah, I agree with this point too from Tommy. It's time to stop selling. You're in the playoffs now. Either upgrade or stand pat. Winning is more important than putting more into the war chest. And Tommy,
I agree.
I'm 100% with you. And I'm not dying on the hill to say go get somebody. I'm not saying that, but I am saying
there are like, I would say I don't know, like planned sells this year that I would accept, like those ones I talked about. If you're moving a Tarasenko or a Comfer or a Cop or one of those guys to add somebody else to fill that spot.
Well, see, you're intelligent though, so Spenny, so you would understand that if they trade Tarasenko to wherever, the Utah Hockey Club, and they're giving Tarasenko and a second-round pick, you would understand the why.
It's because they've got guys in Grand Rapids that are better, that they're ready to bring up, that they're open.
And that $5 million in cap space is more valuable to them now with the mode that they're in now than it was before. Like, we're seeing the progression of this in real time, D-Mac, and that's the biggest thing. That's what I'm most happy about, is we teetered on the brink for a minute there with the youth on the team. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, because I was going to bat and obviously liking the drafts and everything that Stevie Y was doing. But even I wouldn't say I was off board. I took a body shot, though. I kneeled down for an 8 count for a second there. But then he totally redeemed himself with everybody that's kind of popped back up here now. So you can see the progression. And I wouldn't be, going back to Spenny's point, D-Mac, I would be okay with / enjoy attaching one of these bad contracts to a draft pick to moving them along. So then I can be active.
So you can re-sign Johansson. So then you can get these guys.
/ maybe go get somebody else. Maybe get a vet that you want to look to add. Like, that wouldn't be a step backwards for me to where most people might take it that way.
No, exactly, because it's building. Because you're not there yet. Right? We just get done talking about in the football about levels. Right? You're still one of these teams that is just trying to get to the playoffs, right, and solidify yourself as a playoff team. So, yeah, I think the greatest part is that there are conversations, but these are the thought process. But as a fan, the blessing is that you see sunlight, right? Like you see the way. Okay, you make that coaching change. You get the guys inspired. You get them playing right. You see the youth playing. You see the superstar, the consistency, even with the slow. Like look at Lucas Raymond, right? Just all year. Him and Larkin have been, to me, like as consistent guys up front. But like he legitimately keeps stepping up. Look at what else. We haven't talked about a lot, but who it's revived? DeBrincat.
Yes.
Todd McClellan's revived DeBrincat. Like American you see sniper. The way, like just him, getting 5 shot attempts a game. Like being active, being a part of it. Just the way that Todd McClellan has come in and realized, okay, yeah, I'm going to use you here. Moving Marco Casper to the top line. You see, speed. I said to you, Spenny, Joe Valeno. Displaying speed. You look at the way those bottom 2 lines are playing and being able to chip in. So it's one of these things that it's not, I guess, difficult. But it's one of these things we have to make a decision, right? We have to make a decision. You don't want to disrupt what you're building and going on to. So again, if you add, that's why I think if you add somebody, it's got to be somebody who's going to be part of your future, and you got to look at this person as somebody that you can win with and get to that next level. Because it's not about winning the cup. It's about being that playoff team to be able to step up to that next level.
Also, too, D-Mac, your talk about DeBrincat reminds me, because, that's the DeBrincat that I saw. That's the DeBrincat I saw right. When I facilitated the deal with Ottawa, as most of you remember, Stevie Y gets the credit. I'm the one that brought that to the table.
And this is what you saw originally.
This is exactly what I saw
what you envisioned.
when I targeted him in a trade.
Yeah.
And then when Stevie Y and myself got the opportunity, I went over to LCA. We sat up there in the suite, and he had the wine glass and I had the bourbon glass, and we both had sweaters with collared shirts on underneath.
Of course,
It's a good look.
Yeah, 100%.
both had the glasses on.
We both had our glasses on.
Hey,
Like
a couple of these.
Yeah, a couple of them.
Right.
Just
Pondering,
Yeah, just
pontificating.
I ran a couple of ideas by him, and he did that, and he was like, he had the wine glass, and he was, how they wine glass,
Swirl it
wine
around.
drinkers swirl it a little.
Just give it a smell.
Yeah, he was pondering it, and then he said, "I like where you're at, Neal.
I
like where you're at with this. I think we're gonna go ahead and do this." And I was like, he said, "Thank you," and I said, "Stevie, you're welcome, man.
Whatever you need.
You got this check, right?" And he's like, "Yeah, I got it." Right. And I said, "Okay, hey, the Little Caesars Old Forester single barrel edition, is it's pricey.
Right.
It's pricey. We'll just
Top
say it
shelf
like
shit.
that." But I said, "Stevie, thanks, man. I'll check back in around the next trade deadline." He said, "Yeah, how about late February?" And I said, "Okay, I'll be back." So I'll put the sweater back on.
MSU and the Red Wings don't start until 10 p.m. tonight.
Sheesh.
Big Ten basketball,
Yeah,
man.
love it.
10 p.m. starts.
Awesome.
L.A. Dr. Pierce going to join us at 12:24, by the way.
Sounds good.
He's going to need a VMix line, so a little production on the fly.
Okay.
So he's going to be joining us virtually. But whatever, he's waiting on it. So you got his email, right?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, we'll figure that out during the
Yeah,
commercial.
I'll text his assistant.
In the meantime, he's between assistants now.
Oh, okay.
So.
All right. Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Okay, cool. New Holland Brewing, everybody. Local Michigan company, west side of the state. They're doing it better than anyone. We know about Taller, the Dutch long drink, the small batch gin from New Holland. They mix it with the grapefruit puree, and the magic happens in those cans. They're incredible, everybody. Sources report to me that I'll be having at least a 4-pack of that on Super Bowl Sunday.
Who's your sources?
Me.
Tell
I'm the
us right
source.
now.
Literally me. I'm the source. So I will go to Total Wine or Meijer, wherever, and I will be picking up my 4-pack of Taller. I advise you to do the same. It'll change your life, everybody. Yes, it is that good. New Holland Brewing, local Michigan company, west side of the state. Taller, the Dutch long drink.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in the clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you. A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man-meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports. We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports. Head to woodwardsports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. Woodwardsports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at woodwardsports.com.
New year, new you. How about a new car? Les Stanford Buick GMC is here for you. Get a 2025 Hummer EV SUT for 24 months with 10,000 miles per year for only $699 per month. Just $1,999 down payment, or a 2025 GMC Sierra 1500 crew cab, 24 months with 10,000 miles per year for only $359 per month. Sign and drive, no down payment required. GM discount required for both. Get to Les Stanford today or click on the QR code on the screen and check out our massive inventory. Les Stanford Buick and GMC. LesStanford.com. Together, let's drive. Vroom, vroom.
All right, keeping it pushing. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, KG, Spencer Raxter, all of you in the Woodward Sports chat thread. Mike G, time to buy, for God's sakes. With the Red Wings, I don't know yet. I don't. It would have to be. It would have to be advantageous.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
They're going to be selective. They don't need to really make a move here at this deadline.
Nope. They do need to get in the playoffs, so I'm not going to lie about that. Woodward Sports chat thread. Get into there. Get your thoughts out there. Stick. Neal is Valenti's source. Same topics, just a day later. I'm not here to speak on that. All right. We talked a little bit about with the Red Wings. The Pistons, a little more pressing. The trade deadline is Thursday. I listened to an interview with J.B. Bickerstaff on the flagship this morning, as a matter of fact. And it was kind of interesting because he said that he will meet with Trajan Langdon and look at what's been presented. Which right away, I know what that tells me. There's things on the table to look over. So, and I said this, D-Mac, any kind of salary dump, they're going to be involved.
We got some breaking news here.
Okay.
Breaking news
From Ryan Lentz sent me a graphic with it already. So here you go. Breaking news. Neal Ruhl
Please don't do that. Ryan, please don't do that.
James Williams from Miles Garrett and Cooper Cup.
Wow.
Please don't do that.
The great Neal Ruhl has broken the news.
Yeah. His sources.
Wow.
Lentz. He's a GOAT, man. Absolute GOAT. I guess the moral of the story is, D-Mac, you can expect, he sounded fairly certain like something was going to happen. You can expect
and
something.
You've told me all along that that pretty much has to happen with Detroit in the mix some way. So, again, it seems like, they have a little bit of control because they're the team with the money and the salary cap. So I like the fact that, isn't that what you like to hear from your professional team when your coach says, yeah, we're going to go talk and see what's best for the team? Right? You didn't no irrational decision. Let me look at the guys available no matter what it is. Like you've always said, there's going to be more moves done, and you have to be involved because of the way that the money is.
Neal Bomb in the chat. That's pretty good. Somebody start the rumor SGA is getting fat. Well, I mean, it's not a rumor. Like, look at your eyes. Like, look at Luka with your eyes, everybody.
James Harden hit the okie doke on. That was legendary.
Yes, it was.
Literally wore a fucking fat suit to a game.
Right. So he could get traded.
That shit is crazy, dude. That's one of the funniest things that's ever happened in the NBA.
But that's why I like James Harden.
Yeah.
I get killed because I like James Harden.
I hate how he plays. I like how he plays, except for the fouls. Like, he is nasty to watch play. He is one of, if not the best,
premier
scorer in the history of the NBA.
Yeah.
But that's some of the funniest shit I ever seen. He wore a fat suit to a game, dude.
Deep down, he's a troll.
Yeah.
He's an absolute troll.
No, 100%. RJ Graham. So, Neal, who's Brad drafting at quarterback then? They're going to trade for Brock Purdy.
Oh. 7th round stud.
7th round pick. No, absolutely. I don't know. I guess, though, like with the Pistons thing, though, like everybody, they're not getting Luka.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
Like, chances are they're going to utilize their cap space to get some capital. If there's a vet that can be a throw-in that they can absorb, they'll take that as part of a trade. But again, we have to look at it. And just know this, too. The NBA, it was weird the timing of the Luka thing, not only because it was midnight on a Saturday.
That was really weird.
But you guys know how this works. Probably tomorrow they're going to start, and then it's just a machine, man.
I love the NBA trade.
Right here, right now, Spenny, what do you think the Pistons' involvement would be?
They're gonna get a guard from somewhere. They're gonna get a secondary ball handler.
Alonzo Ball type.
Stoney said he heard Davion Mitchell could be a potential. There were reports also out there that they're talking with the Pelicans. If the Pelicans can't get a deal done, the Pistons are going to be the team they kick somebody to get under that tax threshold. So whether that be a C.J. McCollum or whether that be Jose Alvarado, there's Colin Sexton is still floated out there. They're going to get somebody.
Yeah,
it's more than likely going to be a guard to help out Cade.
Yeah, because his usage is.
They need it.
I still got one from left field because I've been screaming the name Tyus Jones for a while.
Yeah.
Jimmy Butler is said to be in talks with Phoenix about a trade there.
Exclusively.
I would love Tyus Jones.
I think Pistons maybe get him as a third.
He's only a $2.5 million cap hit, and he's shooting 40% from three. So he's not going to be the guy that you trade.
Where's he at now?
Phoenix.
He's
at
right.
a veteran minimum in Phoenix. And
So
they got to have him.
He's playing really well, and he only cost you $2 million. They're not getting rid of him.
Makes sense.
I would have loved him though.
Yeah.
Could you imagine? I've been wanting to run this by you for a long time. Just knowing how you are, knowing the culture that you came up in with the Red Wings. Could you even imagine a world where you have a $52 million player option for next year, and you just say, I'm just not going to practice today, guys. Trade me, and then walk out. And then come back, and then they say, all right, you're suspended. Then you serve your suspension, you come back and you play. And then the team plane is leaving, and you're like, I'm just not going to go get on the plane to go with the team. And then could you imagine, D-Mac, you have a meeting with management, and they say, hey, we got a couple of different teams that we're going to trade you to. And you say, I'm not going to sign long-term deals with them, so I'm not going to go there. I only want to go to Phoenix. Could you even wrap your head around
here's
that?
the whole thing. In doing that, I got to say, how much money's in the bank account before, right? Is this the first year you're $52 million
Hold on, I want everything.
Jimmy good.
Or how much do you got? How much do you
I'll
got
tell you the answer.
in the bank?
Yeah, I'll tell you the answer
changes.
to that. Okay, you're 35 years old. Okay, and
I've played how long in the league? And I've made how much money?
You're 13 years in the league, and you have made, to this point, $312 million.
Jesus Christ.
And you're guaranteed $52 million more next year. You have an option.
I would have had my plane pull up behind the team plane and got on that plane and said, "I'll see you," whatever.
Right.
Which is totally different world. Like at the end of the day, and if you're asking me, no, it's you don't make a deal you're not going to honor. I mean, like at the end of the day, like I always tell.
Could you imagine?
I tell it. Like,
you can't even imagine, can you?
But if you had beef with
because I always
management,
preach embrace the suck. Right? Like you're usually talking to somebody about embracing the suck and they're making a few $100s. You know what I mean? Not this much. It'd be easy to embrace the suck, but it just goes to show you it's the power. And it's the power. So to me in this situation with Jimmy Butler, he's really brought out the ineptitude of the top of the NBA. This is an NBA problem because you've created this. Right? So you've allowed this and created. I don't really blame him because he's got the power.
Because he can't. Why does anybody do anything?
You put the power in his hand.
Yeah.
If he didn't have the power, or he wasn't that good or whatever, we wouldn't be talking about it. He wouldn't have Miami more so over a barrel. He wouldn't be able to say these things and just move on. And whatever else. This is more of what the NBA has created to itself. And the first time that it's coming out because he's got the power. Because there's no one, at the end of the day, he's got 300 and some million he's already made. And I know 50. I'm not
52 more next year.
52.
Guaranteed.
But his scruples to what he stands for to himself is bigger than money. I can get that where he doesn't have to worry about it because it's not his chunk. Right? But if we're talking about it and he's running Miami through this hopper and everything like that, I mean, as a player, former player, power to the player. because they created this. He's playing. This is a typical example of what are the rules? What game we playing? What are the rules? Okay, and Jimmy Butler's playing it better than Pat Riley right now
because he got more leverage,
right?
Like,
and you could say, but he's sacrificing the money. Yeah, he knows that. He doesn't give a flying F.
He wanted an extension, and they won't give it to him. So I'm not mad at him. Everybody brings up, the fact that Jimmy Butler had a bad exit everywhere, which is true, but he has a case in this point.
IT hips, and Jimmy Butler doesn't hold the cards. Pat Riley does. Wrong, IT hips. Because he gets $52 million next year. And guess who's going to give it to him if he doesn't trade him? Pat Riley.
And Pat Riley don't want that to happen. So now they
but
play
he doesn't
a hardball
have
he
a choice.
Does not have a choice.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Oh, I take that. He does have a choice. He can give him $52 million and win and not trade him.
Yeah.
Have you won that scenario?
Not really.
And Jimmy Butler holds the power where I'm only going to Phoenix.
Yep.
So this is it. That's it. All right, let's take the break. When we come back, Dr. Pierce will join us, our injury insider, Transaction Tuesday. We will slip in the Rest in Peace as well. Rest in Peace Tuesday also. All of that and more. Merch, everybody. Shop.woodwardsports.com. The very best lineup of Detroit sports wearables. Get geared up for opening day. We're not that far away. Spencer Raxter will be. Baseball season starts next month, by the way.
Yep. Pitchers and catchers report next week.
And Spencer Raxter will be reporting downtown for opening day.
I would so go to Lakeland and cover spring training.
I've always wanted to go, and I've never gone.
I really want to do that one year.
I need to. I need to do it as well.
Let's go.
We need to, man.
I have to talk to Chad about that for next year.
Absolutely. Shop.woodwardsports.com.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
Let's give it up for David Tully, everybody. David Tully. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Soroki's crispy chicken and pizza. Delicious, delicious stuff. Make sure you go get it today. They got 7 different flavors of wing for you to choose from. My personal favorite is the spicy garlic, but you can try them all and choose your favorite for yourself. Soroki's crispy chicken and pizza. Find one near you at Sorokis.com.
All right, keeping it pushing. It is Tuesday, as you know, and of course, we are joined by Dr. Jeff Pierce here. He is our injury insider, joining us virtually today over vMix, courtesy of the Michigan Sports and Spine Center. Doc, as always, we appreciate the time. Appreciate you joining us. How are you, my friend?
Good. How are you guys?
Good. We break up lunch, or what are we doing
Are you in
here?
a sauna? What's going on?
I told you I was traveling. I'm in Israel right now. We're outside. This is
we did
break lunch. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're actually in Jerusalem.
What time is it there?
We're actually in Jerusalem. We're 7 hours ahead of you.
All right, so 7:30. Okay, there we go. But Doc Pierce,
7:30.
Interrupting dinner to join us. But again, we appreciate you joining us from Israel, breaking up the meal, as we said. Hey, but Doc, I did want to get into this with you because you've talked about this before.
Wait.
How? Oh, go ahead.
Do you see that my friend next to me?
Yes.
That's Christo. He owns the London Chop House. He's here to evaluate the food. He says anytime Woodward Sports wants to come down and do a show, London Chop House, he'll host us.
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
Absolutely. And cigar bar.
There we go.
It's a Big D Energy exclusive. The
Yes.
HR department, that's me, just made it there. You have it. The rest of yours. No,
shout out to the London Chop House, by the way, man. One of the iconic
Absolutely.
spots,
We'll make
man.
that happen.
Yeah, for sure. We'll do that.
Yeah, we're looking for a new piano player to spice it up here from Israel.
All right, maybe if that fails, hit up Joey Harrington. Maybe he can help you out there as well. But, Doc, it is Super Bowl week, and something you've talked about this a lot, and it's something, too, that I've wanted to touch on for a while. Patrick Mahomes, legendary quarterback.
Yes.
The GOAT, as some would say. A GOAT of the quarterbacks. He's this new breed of athlete, Doc, that are athletically kind of unremarkable. When you look at Mahomes, and the Athletic did a story on this, Patrick Mahomes remains a mesmerizing athlete. His traditional performance metrics, like his 4.8 40-yard dash or his squat max, are unremarkable. But he runs faster on curves than he does in a straight line and is a master at decelerating under control. It's called forecasting momentum. Doc, do we need to change the way we view elite athletes? Luka Doncic, Nikola Jokic, Patrick Mahomes. We need to change the way we view an elite athlete, right?
Yeah, I mean, we really are because of what's going on. You're looking at these guys as different. You look at Mahomes, he has a very short stride. When you lengthen that stride, you can't make vertical changes, horizontal changes as quickly as he can. And that's some of the reason. Like, you look at Hurts from Philadelphia. He squats an unbelievable amount of weight. You're looking at what is making the difference, right? You got to have all the regular strength of a quarterback, but now you have to have even what we call the X factor. What's making you stand out? Because every one of these kids that come up right now has a special trainer, has special methods. It's going to be who's got that other thing going on. So when we define what's the other thing, like you're saying, Mahomes, he changes directions. He's got verticals. He's got being able to move his body one direction, throw a different direction. You know, those are huge things. Are you guys getting an echo?
No, we're good.
No.
Good, because I'm hearing myself twice. Maybe it's this old restaurant we're in. But yeah, what are you looking at? I mean, we're looking at when we're training young players, like right now, especially for football, when they're getting paid to go to college, they're going to start developing other skill levels. So you're not looking at the traditional Joe Namath or Bart Starr, where they were just big and bulky and could, deliver the ball. You're looking at guys that have extra speed. I mean, Hutchinson's a great example. I mean, I make a lot of fun of him, but the guy, he was a true dancer that changed his fast twitch fibers, and his agility was much different. That's why cross training is so important right now. Is that kind of what you're looking for?
Yeah, but is there something, Doc, like if you go to all more of elite players, or you wonder, like a lot of times you wonder, how is that guy, right? How is he elite? Because he looks either like the ones that are specimens. A lot of times you can appreciate, but then you get into, he's too fit because he's enabled himself because he's so big that he's got no flexibility, gets injured that way. What I'm saying is that, is there every athlete has this little thing, because we're always told that they do something better than 99.9%. Is it come down to not more like that physical aspect, but it's that little intricacy of what they can do, like on the ice? Is it what makes Sergei Fedorov and like that elite level, because they can, get off the puck or off their skates as fast as anybody else? Like, is this what the elite athletes? Whereas in the past, we'd have to look at him and go, well, he doesn't look like a quarterback. He doesn't look like a skater.
That's
or
how
something.
it used to be.
As I'm thinking about this, I'm looking at you're bringing up these guys. I'm thinking like Brett Hull. Brett Hull was not a specimen. Brett Hull, but you know what? The one thing that he could do is put his eye to the bottom of his stick and one-time a puck from anywhere at any time at any elite level. So is this a regular trait through all these sort of like elite? And we're talking about Hall of Fame guys. We're not talking about us grindliners or whatever. We're talking about the elite of the elite. But it's not physical with your eye. It's more of what you're talking about, that they have this thing.
Yeah, I mean, your teammate, Pavel Datsyuk, is probably the best example of that. I mean, you brought up Brett Hull, but you also forgot he had so much strength within his forearms to create that shot. He had tremendous forearms and strength in his hands that made the shots different. That quick, Ovechkin, same kind of thing. Why is he still putting the puck in the net? Because of his forearms, because of his fast twitch, because how fast he can react, how fast his brain is reacting to that puck and the touch. You'll see we have abilities to download the video of these guys, watching how quick they're releasing, what they're doing differently. I mean, Pavel, we have to slow it down to understand what he even did half the time. I mean, you're talking about elite athletes. The level of athletes are just elevating at all levels. I mean, look at the new quarterback for U of M. This kid is a human specimen, but he's also got a skill level higher than everybody else at his level. You look at LeBron. LeBron was 30 coming into as an 18-year-old. I mean, it's just there's gifted genetics, but there's also gifted. I don't want to get too technical, but your neurological system, from your brain to your reaction times, is huge. When we start doing real special testing, when we're getting down to their cognitive or their balance, we're looking at their reaction times. And reaction times have proven to make a difference in athletes. So I'll give it a rest there.
Now, Dr. Pierce joining us here, our injury insider, live from Israel, as a matter of fact. People talking about the lamb chop. They said it looked pretty darn good in the shot as well. And shout out to the London Chop House for sure. London Chop House getting a lot of love in the chat also. One other thing for you, Doc, before we let you go. Luka Doncic has been in the news, obviously, because he was traded. And people were talking about his weight and was the conditioning an issue and all that kind of stuff. Doncic was quoted in this story, too, from The Athletic. Or no, he wasn't quoted. He was talked about in this story. Talked about how he started testing out when he was a teenager and did not grade out well in traditional performance metrics. But he did have one superpower. He was in the 92nd percentile in eccentric force, which translates to the simple act of going full speed and then stopping. And when you look at it, because he is not physically gifted, Nikola Jokic has a 17-inch vertical, 17 inches. I'm pretty sure mine is higher than that. When you get into all this, Doc, like it's amazing that the stop, the start, it doesn't matter anymore, does it, Doc? Because science is going to find you. If you're an elite athlete and has an elite trait, science will find you.
Yeah, but you want to take that, but don't put it in a little bubble, okay? He's got great eccentric stopping power, but you don't realize how many shots he took. I don't care if he can stop on a dime and reverse like those special horses. If he can't put the ball in the hoop after that happens, that's what's the key. Yeah, he has that ability. He's not moving that fast. He's not a quick athlete. He just has that change of direction quickly. But don't shortcut that guy has shot an amazing amount of basketball shots to put the ball in the hoop also. Like he can get the defender off of him. He's still got to make that shot. I mean, look at my great friend George Gervin. What was his skill? His skill was able to weave through people and drop the finger roll. I mean, all these guys have a will. You got to understand, he had a will to create a difference. Our best friend for Darren and I, Chris Draper. Chris Draper worked harder than anybody. When you look at elite athletes and you track what their life was like growing up, these guys had a tremendous amount of will. It's a lot of will. It's a lot of work. Kobe, how many shots did he take? Even if you go back to the early days of LeBron James, I'll tell you, I sat with a lot of alumni watching LeBron James criticizing his shot. Those guys do not criticize his shot. These guys work. You got to give them credit. They're elite athletes that work their butts off. You know, Mac that sits there, Mac has some gifted traits. You know, he was a grinder and all that, but he worked so hard. Every professional athlete, when they say, oh, you think they're different, they put their pants on the same way? No way. These guys work 100 times at their craft to become that X factor. So for any young athlete, you better be gifted genetically. Your willpower better be there, but you got to put in the work. You got to put on the work when nobody's watching. And, you know, Dante, you know, you're picking on him right now that he's slow. He knew he was slow. He knew he didn't have that speed. He found other ways to make it to the NBA and make a difference. And that's just hard work.
All right, Doc.
That doesn't change over decades.
Doc, as always, we appreciate the time. So next week, people want to talk about Myles Garrett's feet next week. So be ready, okay? They do. They do. In a medical medical way. Okay. In a medical way.
All right, you guys know I hate feet, so I'll read up on it.
Yeah, you're not Rex Ryan.
But yeah, I want you to see my group. Oh.
Yeah, we got you.
And my group of guys here that are in Israel.
Shout out the lamb chops.
We're with the military. The lamb chops. All good guys. We're trying to make a difference out here.
I love it.
We'll talk about it over cigars and lamb chops down at the London Broil when you get back.
I like it.
That's it. Just call London Chop House, mention Woodward Sports, and they'll get a special reservation.
All right, we'll get it set up for sure, Doc. Appreciate you, man. Enjoy Israel. All right, Dr. Pierce, everybody, man. International diplomat, as people were talking about in the chat, right? Handling political situations and whatnot. Enjoying lamb chops at the very least.
I love lamb chops, and those look like good lamb chops.
Yes.
I mean, I'm sure every lamb chop that Dr. Pierce eats is very good, but those look really good.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Those aren't lamb chops you'll find at Coliseum on Avon.
Well, I mean,
those might be better.
Depends. Tell about Mark White.
Mark White, if you're looking to buy or sell your home, Mark White should be your first choice. You can save up to $5,000 of your closing costs. Visit him at markwhitesells.com or call him at 248-290-8242. markwhitesells.com. Again, he will get you in your dream home today and save you up to $5,000 on your closing costs.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Attention skiers and snowboarders, get ready to send it on a 14-foot drop-in ramp with 3 custom features at the brand new JARS Utica location parking lot. When is this? Saturday, February 22nd from 1 to 5 p.m. Jam-style competition judged by 3 guest pros. $8,000, yes, $8,000 in cash prizes up for grabs. Are you in? To register, go to jarscannabis.com/Jars Rail Jam to sign up. Open to skiers and snowboarders 21 plus, limited to 50 participants. Lock in your spot today. Myself and Stick will be doing a special broadcast. Yes, a special Woodward Sports broadcast from 2 to 4. Spectators are also welcome. I will have the Darren McCarty brand and legacy on site. So the event is free to attend with free food with Jars purchases, live DJs, and giveaways. Drop in and cash out with Jars.
All right, keeping it pushing. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, KG, Spencer Raxter. All of you in the chat. Rando Smalls with a super chat. I was 18 years old, 282 pounds, and 5'10", went to basic training for 13 and a half weeks, weighed out at graduation at 179 and a half. All dedication. Well, shout out to you, Randall. Like, you're in it. You don't have a choice at that point. Like, you're absolutely in it. Thomas, he bet valuable body parts to a male that those lamb chops were above the average lamb chops we would see around here.
I would agree.
I would definitely agree with that. Rich Baldwin, Doc will be checking in from the Ukraine on Thursday. How about Doc, man? Israel.
Diplomat.
He's an international diplomat. It's absolutely incredible. Keith Schmidt in the super chat as well. Hold as long as possible on Myles Garrett. Detroit is the best position for him. Worst case scenario, sign Mack and draft Landon Jackson. Wings trade Buffalo for Tage Thompson. I'm bitter Tage Thompson kind of submarined my fantasy team last year.
I'd definitely take Tage Thompson.
I mean, what's that going to cost us? That'd be he would be worth, one of your prospects. That he could fill in. That's interesting.
Let me see what his story is. He is currently in the middle of a 7-year, $50 million actually a second year, 7-year, $50 million contract.
Yeah, 7 years.
He's $7.1 million per year from now until 2029, 2030. So he's 27 now. He's under contract till he's 32.
What are his stats on the year?
This season, I think he's pushing 30 goals. Yeah, 26 goals, 22 assists.
That'd be nice.
Hey,
he's a +8 on that Buffalo team.
Could be. That's interesting. I'm intrigued.
That would be real
Is
nice.
Buffalo going to blow it up again? Poor Buffalo.
Let's ask the Chase Lounge. You like Tage Thompson?
I do like Tage Thompson. However, when you were talking earlier, D-Mac, about adding defensemen to this team, I really like Albert Johansson. However, I think I might be willing to part with him if we got Owen Power back in a deal. Owen Power.
Well, that's former first overall pick. I mean, that's like
it would take a lot more than
way to drop.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Hey, Albert Hansen's nice, but there's this kid called Mo Sider.
Yeah.
Yes.
Goals
notes, yes. Yeah. Which would be something like, holy cow! If you look, real quick, Owen Power contract.
He's 20.
Tage
he's 22.
Thompson, Owen Power,
like 8 years.
Like you would legitimately do a Nate Danielson, Albert Johansson. You'd throw in one of your younger guys.
Yeah. He's in the first year of a 7-year, $58 million deal, 8.3 per.
Top prospects.
But but right there at 7, right over the next 5 years and 8, like those. That's something. If you. Like I got set up a little, but those two guys right there, because they're both on Buffalo. And if Buffalo's looking to reload, I mean, you never know.
Huge, man.
You never know. But the bottom line is, you can have the conversation because you have the youth that you could reload them with.
Rasmus Dahlin too. They have him. He's making a ton of money.
Yeah,
why isn't it working there? What is their deal,
dude? Okay. Honestly, there's probably some sort of old curse on the land because it's not only with their hockey team, it's their football team, and like Buffalo is cursed. And I don't know what it is. Like, you obviously always go back to coaching or GM, but whatever like this. But they put talent together, and they had Skinner there, and they got rid of him, and it seems like, I don't know. But look at the landscape of Buffalo sports.
They're almost like this minor league team, because you have all these guys who go to Buffalo, play really well, they get shipped off, and then they win a cup.
But good players, Neal.
Yeah.
You just said that Tage Thompson submarined your fantasy team last year, which means you had expectations for him.
I know, but he's good this year. But it is and I know we're not doing Buffalo talk or anything like that, but they got Thompson locked up long term. Dylan Cousins is locked up long term. Dahlin's locked up. Power's locked up. Samuelson's locked up. Their goalie's locked up.
Meltdowns from there.
Yeah.
They never had a chance.
James Reimer's their backup goalie, though, by the way.
Shout out.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
Wow, they took on money they bought out Skinner. Wow.
I think they just hired Lindy Ruff, who was fired from the Devils, as their new coach. He's at first year in Buffalo.
But he's a retread.
Yeah,
he was there
just
back
continuously.
I don't know.
It's the NHL.
There's something.
Boy, shout out Jeff Skinner, by the way, on the buyout.
Got bought out, and then now he's in
Edmonton. Yeah. He's 1.4 million, 4.4 million. He's the dead cap on him stretches till age 37, by the way.
Yeah.
So
what's the problem with the hockey team? They run into this all the time. That screws them up to whatever, that they can't get over the hump to whatever. But they've drafted good talent, but we've seen it before. We saw it here in this city with the football team get all the first rounders.
Let's take the break, come back and do rest in peace, and then ride out. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Let's do it, everybody. Okay. 1800.
1800 Tequila is a delicious tequila, and it is a sponsor of the Detroit Lions. Like, do you need any other reason to go get some? Look at it. They got the cool Lions theme bottle right there. Make sure you check it out in stores today. 1800 Tequila, the smoothest taste of tequila. And as always, please drink responsibly.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports. We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
Attention sports fans, don't miss out on expert sports injury insights with Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spines. Whether he's in the country or out of the country, he will always make time to join Dr. Pierce here every Tuesday on Big D Energy and Thursdays during Ermanni and Edwards. Wonder what he's going to be eating on Thursday afternoon when he does that.
And where he'll be.
Maybe some more
Monaco?
Maybe he'll be in Monaco.
Could
Who
be in
knows?
Monaco.
Stay tuned, 2 to 4 on Thursday. Find out. Dr. Jeff Pierce is here to keep you in the game of performing at your best. For more information, visit MichiganSportsAndSpine.com or call 248-426-9944.
All right, everybody. Back at it. Big D Energy, final segment of the show, just in time for a little rest in peace.
Wait, I just found a golden drop in. Oh, man, I forgot we had this.
What's that?
I just found a great drop in the system that I forgot we had.
Okay.
This guy coming. So everyone is coming.
All right, Spencer Raxter, with that being said, you ready to lead off today's edition? It's a Rest in Peace Tuesday.
Yeah, rest in peace. I didn't really think about this one. I'm going to go rest in peace to the Phoenix Suns and their hopes of winning an NBA championship.
It's over.
Yeah, what they're doing right now, they're not going to win a championship with the core they have now. They're not going to beat the Mavs. They're not going to beat the Thunder. They're probably not even going to beat the Lakers. Like that team is not built. It was good on paper, but you never really had it. You never got it together. Kevin Durant wants out now. They're talking about trading trading for Jimmy Butler. Devin Booker just set the franchise total in points, and he's probably going to be gone soon. They're going to blow it up. They're not winning a championship together.
It is a bad scene, and it never even had a shot. Like, at what point did you ever say,
damn, they're a real contender?
Not once.
Not once.
Not once, man. That's a good call, by the way, because it is over. It is definitely over. Phoenix Suns, rest in peace. KG, who are you putting in the coffin?
Bradley Beal, KD, and motherfucking Booker. That's crazy. But
and it wasn't even close. Yeah. Like, you never for a second were like, okay, they're getting it together.
No,
not
never,
once.
Never, which is insane. But I think this one's pretty obvious. Rest in peace to Justin Tucker. Dog. What the hell? What the hell happened to Justin Tucker, man? Out of all the people that I think a massage scandal would come out about, I did not think it would be J-Tuck, man. And this is somebody that we thought was maybe one of the best kickers ever.
This guy coming. So everyone is coming.
So he can't stop coming. 9 women? You got 9 women on you. That's crazy, bro. Rest in peace to Justin Tucker's career.
And that many people aren't lying.
No, that's a fact.
Like, you did that shit.
Yeah, like
100%.
Robert Kraft levels, like Deshaun Watson levels.
Here's
pay for sex.
Yeah, right.
You're $1 million athlete. Find someone that's willing to give you sex for money. Like, I'm fine with sex work. I think it should be legal. It's the oldest profession out there. You don't force girls or just whip it out. You're $1 million athlete,
like, just
bitches are selling pussy on the street every day. You can go find someone that would willingly do it. Have her sign an NDA and pay for the sex. Don't be a creep about it.
Dude, like,
I don't get it.
What? Can't you just go get a massage and then
can.
go? Like, how hard is that?
I mean, the massages can be a little, depending on the right touch. But as somebody, and that may or may not have had a rub and tug in his day, there are places that you can go that specialize in this stuff.
We talked about this on the heavyweights, obviously. Like if you're out there, you're looking for that stuff, you know the spots to go look for it.
Yeah,
this is like
spots.
with him and with Deshaun Watson, it's like a weird predatory thing to where they're trying to force women that don't want to do it to do it. And that's where it's fucked up.
Yeah.
If you want to get your slung, go do it. I don't give a fuck. You should have
proper channels. Use the proper channels.
Understanding before time.
Yes.
You can't just spring that on people,
can't.
literally.
They have rub and tugs. You're rich enough to find where the rub and tug is.
Yeah.
Like,
Just text Robert Kraft.
There's nothing wrong with that. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No, it's
but
not.
you can't force it upon women.
It's got to be consensual.
There's a reason. There's a reason he was making them kicks for all them years.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to get your shit off, fine. It just needs to be pre-established.
Theo in the chat says it. Justin Tucker's third leg is extremely accurate.
Yeah.
D-Mac, who you putting in the coffin, please?
All right. I got a minute. So this is where I'm going to go back to the Royal Rumble.
Okay.
And I'm going to rest in peace. And it's not, anybody that won or anything like that. Rest in peace, Logan Paul, because Drew McIntyre is going to serve you up with the greatest receipt ever. When you get hit with that Claymore kick, right? It's going to be put in tight. And why do I mean that? If you go to the dirt sheets or whatever, the controversy, usually, and for all you non-wrestling fans, the Royal Rumble where there's like 30 people and it's in and out, last man standing, go over the top rope. But what they do during this is you see sort of the premonition or what's going to happen in the next year as far as who's coming in to battle each other and stuff like this. So they're setting up a program between Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest, but at the same time when the focus is supposed to be on them, Logan Paul decides to get in the way and they call it go into business for himself, right? Which took the spotlight and the commentary and the focus off of what it was supposed to be at the moment. Now, why do I say this? Because there's, from knowing this, and as Logan Paul great wrestler has committed himself to that, but there's certain things to the way that things are done, and you did this to some veteran guys. This ain't the last you're going to hear about it, and so I keep an eye on that. So I think that there's a good receipt coming. I'd be looking to see how that Claymore lands, Kenny.
Yeah,
the Claymore is Drew McIntyre's finisher, where he runs from one corner and literally puts a foot as both feet in the air into the side of your head.
Kicks the shit out of you.
Hell yeah.
It's a drop kick at high speed.
How'd you think of Speed getting that spear?
That was hilarious.
He got lit.
Well, technically, the poor kid, and you could tell because like, I was all about it because I'm like, I take that bump and I take that bump. But you could tell like a little inexperience because he didn't, if he squared around because he sort of got it in the side, which is going to shock you because if he got turned full around, and as you see in that Royal Rumble, it was a spear fest.
Yeah, it was.
Right? It was, guys are just spearing the living crap out of each other. And Braun Breaker hit him so hard. And then the toss by Otis, and you saw, I mean, he got scraped up.
He took 2 bumps.
Robbins Racing, 300 million views on it. Props to I Show Speed and the way that it was used. It was like,
it was flawless.
It was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun, and he took that. And no, like, he got
He got lit up.
He got lit up. Like, there's no, like...
There ain't no faking that.
Yeah.
Ain't no faking
you saw
that
his
shit.
neck snap. I was, damn.
It's funny because you can see Braun Breaker checking on him before he picked him up and threw him out the ring. Like, hey, kid, you okay?
Yeah,
He speared the
and
shit
just
out of him.
because he knew he didn't... But that's the one thing is, like, guys committed to those spots and you go into it, so...
Yeah, ain't no faking a slam or a spear. Like, it's hard to fake that, so...
All right, I'll wrap this thing up. Rest in peace, Tuesday. Rest in peace to my Tigers text thread buddies.
Damn.
They sent me the link. Well, rest in peace to your hopes and dreams. They sent me the link to the tweet. Chris Ilitch and his wife has filed for divorce. People have been talking about it in the chat thread.
You ain't getting pregnant.
My buddy said, midlife crisis, go get Pete Alonso. Rest in peace to that. You know there's documents in place.
You think you all are taking it hard? Sounds like Mrs. Illich, she's a little bit more pissed than all of us.
Yeah.
He really ain't finished.
So rest in peace to your hopes of the Tigers being sold and stuff like that. I'm willing to bet anything. There are documents in place that protect the ownership of the Tigers and the Red Wings. Whatever those documents look. Now, I was just reading the story in the meantime. There's a legal expert quoted in the story as saying, basically effectively saying, could it interfere? Could it interfere with cash flow? All of it. Theoretically, it could, provided that haven't been set aside exclusively. So, rest in peace to my buddies. Yeah. He's not going to sell the teams, I wouldn't think.
A Chris Ilitch divorce, that's going to get pricey, people.
I'm just saying, Tom Gore is swooping now, offer him a couple billy for the Tigers, and
we'd be in the World Series by October.
God, that would be awesome.
Could you imagine? Tom Gore's at the helm.
Swoops in. Little Chris knocking over them garbage cans. All right, that's enough. We did enough damage today. For DMAC, for KG, Spencer Raxter, Chase, I'm Neal Ruhl. Thanks for tapping in. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Well, see you later.